Check, mic check, 1, 2.
Yo, is this thing on or what?
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Platform Podcast. As always, I am your host, Dex. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're listening in on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, give us a follow, leave us a comment, ask any questions that you want for the guest, and let me know if you got any guests that you want to see on upcoming episodes. Today's show is going to be brought to you guys by Make It Now Media. They're a company that I work with all the time for graphics, flyers. They've redid my logo, bunch of other stuff. So if you're a DJ or a venue looking to get some graphic design work done, use the discount code PLATFORM. Hit them up at makeitnowmedia.com/getstartednow and get your work done there. Today on the show, I am sitting down with another amazing guest, a bartender at Barstool Nashville, where I DJ at all the time. She's a huge Rufus Du Sol fan, and I only know that because she requests it as soon as she walks in the door every single time. And she's a big fitness junkie, getting into bodybuilding competitions all the time outside of work as well. I've got Shay sitting down with me. How's it going?
Hi.
And Luna, co-host, already right next to her. Just
two blonde bitches.
just getting it started. But yeah, thank you for taking the time to sit down. I mean, you're doing all right.
I'm doing great.
A little nervous?
A little bit.
Yeah.
First time on camera. But
First time doing any kind of interview, being on camera.
Yeah.
Nerves will shake off pretty quickly. I mean, you're always outgoing at work. I feel like we'll just be able
Once
to start
we get
talking.
started, I'll get going.
And Luna's there to make
Giving
your
me her
nerves a
ball.
little. Yeah. She'll take the focus off the interview and just put it on just getting things rolling. But yeah, I mean, we got you here. Thank you for taking the time to sit down. It's awesome that you guys are all.
Thanks for asking me.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to dive into a lot of things of your experience in the nightlife industry as a bartender, how crazy the Nashville bar scene is compared to other places that you've been, you've gone out in, how it compares to those other cities, dealing with some difficult customers. Obviously, everyone in the bar industry isn't always the nicest to the service industry staff. So we'll see how you deal with that and some of the things that you have dealt with in the past. And then, just kind of what it's like being in the fitness scene and getting ready for a lot of these bodybuilding competitions while you're in a nightlife industry. But first, just get started. Tell us about you, where you're from, how long you've been in the industry, and give us a fun fact.
Okay. Well, I'm Shay. I've been in the industry since I was 21, so about 8 years. I moved from Georgia after I graduated college, so I've been here for going on 6.5 years, so quite a while. Got started at Whiskey Row. That's how I got into Broadway.
Then it's just been rolling since then.
Yeah.
Did you go to Georgia?
No, I went to a smaller school about 30, 45 minutes from Athens, though. Okay. So GCSU.
Okay. And then you started at Whiskey Row. How did you, were you bartending at all while you were in Georgia?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you weren't first started in the industry when you got here and just getting thrown into a Broadway?
No.
Okay.
Nope. So I worked at this restaurant called the Pickle Barrel Cafe.
Nice.
And I started there, as a server, because you couldn't bartend until you were 21. Turned 21, started bartending, and then I moved here about a year later.
I feel like a place called the Pickle Barrel Cafe is probably it's got fire food.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't seem too sure about that. You're just saying yeah to agree with me. You're like, no, their food actually sucked.
No, it was really that was a place you went for wings and to watch sports games.
Yeah.
So Pickle Barrel Cafe and Sports Pub.
There we go. And then going to Whiskey Row, which is a little bit bigger.
Well, when I first moved here, I started at what's the name of that place? Bar Louie.
Oh, okay.
Terrible.
That's a corporate spot, yeah.
Terrible place to work.
Yeah. Did they do dollar burgers? Would they do that out here?
I don't think so.
Oh man, the one in Wisconsin would do dollar burgers, and it was every Tuesday. Just go there and get dollar burgers, and then you can just add on whatever you want. It was awesome. It was a good time.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, it was a good time.
But started out there. That's the first job I've ever walked out of.
Really?
Yeah.
Mid-shift.
It was a Friday night. I got there at 4. I think it was 7:30, and I still like hadn't had a table yet.
Okay.
So I started out serving there.
In the Gulch, and it still wasn't like busy?
I mean, this was 2017.
Yeah.
So I mean, this was a while ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was not good. And the guy that I was dating at the time also worked there and walked out the previous week. And I already had the job at Whiskey Row. It was before they opened.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, Whiskey Row opens in 2 weeks. Like, screw this. I just walked out. I didn't say anything to anyone. I just walked out and I was like, bye.
They're just like looking around like, where is she? And you're just
I got
already
an
gone.
email later that night saying like, I was fired for like walking out. And I was like,
you're like, I'm pretty sure
I thought
that's...
I quit,
yeah.
but okay.
That's what I intended by walking out already.
Right.
Like, you don't need to tell me that. But that's how it is, man. So, but now you've been working at Barstool since they opened up. We had Zach on here. We've had Caroline on here. And Ego, the GM there.
Oh,
I obviously am there all the time DJing. You're probably my number one song requester in the bar.
Every time I walk in, Inner Bloom.
It's just every
you can't
DJ.
Not
I feel
like that song. Like, how do you not like that song?
I feel like every DJ just knows. Like Darren will talk about it and be like, "Oh, like as soon as you walk in, and be like, all right, cool, let me cue it up." They just like get it prepped. But I always think that's funny because it's like I try and connect with the staff of a venue, figure out like songs like that they like, and what they actually want to hear. Like a lot of times, if I'm at a newer venue, I'll straight up ask the staff, like introduce myself before I get started and be like, hey, give me a couple songs that you want to hear today.
Yeah.
Like by the end of today, what's 3 songs that you want to hear? And it just gives those bartenders like something to remember me by and get to know me by, but then also something to get excited for when they hear a song that like might be their favorite song at the time.
Yeah, because a lot of the times we hear the same songs over and over and over.
Yeah,
so
like
it's a
Inner
nice change of pace for sure. Unless you're like me and you just request the same songs every time.
Yes, which is what it ends up
But
being.
I mean, that's what Zach does too.
Yeah.
Lips of an Angel.
Lips of an
Like,
Angel,
I have not
Hinder.
heard that song in years until I started working with him.
Yeah.
And I was like, Zach's here.
And now you hear it every single set, and you just know that Zach's bartending.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, Zach must have just walked in, or he's here, whatever
Yeah.
it is. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, in the industry and being in Nashville, because obviously you're from Georgia, you've gone out in other cities, I'm sure, a bunch of other places. How do you like working in Nashville and going out in Nashville and the scene here, as opposed to other cities that you've been to and you've gone out in?
Nashville is a different breed.
In what way?
I have never seen so many people get so hammered in the things that they do. Just like looking on Scoop Nashville every day, and I'm just like, wow, I'm still genuinely shocked every time I see something that happens. Whereas I feel like other cities don't get like that. I mean, Miami, I guess LA, Chicago, Dallas, like those are the cities I've been out in. And
Chicago, you just got to deal with people getting shot. So it's a little bit worse.
Okay, well, to be fair, I've only been one time for my sister's bachelorette party, and it was in December. It was freezing cold.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel like people don't get as trashed anywhere else but here.
I honestly think it's because it's just nonstop, like all day. Like people start at 10 in the morning and then they drink all day.
But do they not do that in other cities?
I mean,
I guess not.
Not as much. Like, I mean, in Chicago, when there's like bar crawls and things like that, they'll get started earlier. But aside from that, I mean, it's more of a nightlife place. And then especially places being open later there, where in Chicago, you're open till 5 in the morning. It just kind of allows for people to go out more at night and not be out getting hammered already at 10 in the morning.
True.
Which I think is one of the main differences here. But it's definitely, that's what it is. It's just a party city that tourists come to, and they
think, oh, we're going to go to the bars and listen to live music and get fucked up.
It's like, I feel like that's what people plan for to come to Nashville. Is like, they're just going to come here and black out.
Yep.
And just be with their bachelor party, their bachelorette party, whatever friends that they're with. And they're just like, we're going balls to the wall for 3 days straight. And then we're going to get an IV and go home.
I can't do that anymore. But I recently chilled out on my drinking, so.
When did you start chilling out on that? After the holiday party?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shay got she had some fun at the Barstool holiday party. It was a good time.
Yeah, I got voted most likely to black out, or what was it? Like, to be the most drunk.
Oh, from the the video that yes, that Maddie did. That was funny. Yeah, I think it was a highly unanimous vote from the 100 staff members. I think you had like 90 of them.
Yeah.
But
I mean, at least I didn't get carried out.
that's true.
So I still made it to Whiskey Row after.
I know. And
somehow.
Then when I left there, you were still there, and I was like, damn, she's still going strong. So it was impressive. From the bartender's perspective, what's it like bartending in a huge city like this and just having the enormous amount of people that come to town every single weekend, and just whether they're nice, whether they're not nice, just the people that you have to deal with in this industry?
It can be a lot sometimes. You meet a lot of interesting people. I love it because I meet people from all over. I've made a lot of connections, people I still keep in touch with. Like, I had a friend who, him and his wife live in Tampa, and they hit me up last week like, hey, we're going to be in town in a couple weeks. Like, are you going to be working? Like, we want to see you. And they're like, you know, if you ever visit in Tampa, you always have a place to stay. So it's different. I've never experienced that before.
Yeah. Where it's actually like genuine friendships being created from just meeting somebody at a bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously that's just bringing clientele in, or, you know, if they have friends come to town, they'll try and send them out.
Hey, are you working? I have friends in town. Like, I'm going to send them to you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, which that's awesome, because then you get to meet even more people and just kind of extend that network even more.
Exactly.
Yeah. But then on the opposite side of things, what about the people that aren't the most friendly at the bar?
You just got to put on a fake smile.
That's what you do?
And then I immediately turn around and I go,
as soon as you turn
people.
around? As soon as you turn around, you're just like, I hate these people?
Yeah, I'll go up to the other bartenders and be like, oh, these people suck.
This guy's an asshole. Yeah.
Be like, can you take care of them?
Oh, you just try and pass them off to somebody else?
Yeah.
That's a fucking dick move, because then somebody else just has to deal with him.
But they can be a lot nicer than me, though.
That's true.
And I feel like I have a very...
Like, you can't fake be nice to somebody for that long?
I can, but my face, you can read that I'm just like, I'm done with you. Like, what?
You can only fake smile for so long before they're like, she's not actually feeling this at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even just staying professional, like, while you're behind the bar. From when I used to bartend, like, I feel like it's almost, you get a pass for it as a bartender to, like, be a dickhead back to other people that are assholes. It's like kind of just like a service industry thing where it's like, who are you going to tell on me to? Like, what are you going to tell?
Yeah, because they can't really, in that situation, they're not going to be like, where's your manager?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't have time to search for my manager. Like, I'm busy slamming drinks, like, especially if we're busy. But, I mean, they can always, I guess, write a review about you. And if they know your name.
The fucking Yelpers.
So, yeah, I can probably count on one hand how many times I've actually, like, yelled at a customer before, like, really snapped at them for being rude.
I mean, I feel like you have to go pretty far to get to that point.
Yeah. Like, there was an instance a couple weeks ago. This guy came up to the bar, and I mean, I was busy and I hadn't gotten to him yet, but I mean, he just walked up and he's like, do you not want this tip? And I was like, wait, what? He's like, $100, but I guess you don't want it since you're not going to take care of me. And I was like, it kind of shocked me. I was like, you just walked up to the bar. Like, can you give me a minute type of thing? And he was just like, guess you don't want this money. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I don't need your $100. So like, you can go to the other bartender. The other bartender will take care of you.
Which then it's literally going to come back to you anyway.
I mean, exactly. Exactly. So it doesn't really matter.
Fucking dumbass.
But he finally like went away and then comes back, and I don't remember what exactly he said, but one of the managers from another bar was standing there, and he was like, hey, you don't have to, like, don't speak to her like that. That's so rude. And
was it somebody that you knew, like another manager? Or just,
yeah. I knew this other manager.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they sat there and like got into it for a solid 10 minutes and was like, yeah, don't disrespect her. Like, she's not doing anything wrong.
You're not the only person at this bar that she has to take care of.
Kind of like humbled him a little bit.
Yeah.
And he eventually just like threw me the 100, and I was like, thanks.
Still won anyway. Didn't even get a drink, just threw you the 100.
Pretty
like,
much.
Fuck it, take it.
It's like,
that's even better.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's even better. What kind of like friendships? I mean, I know obviously you're just talking about another manager being there, and people in the service industry get to know each other at different bars. What kind of friendships have you built just being in this industry? Is there people that you've like met at a bar that you've established like genuine relationships with that you're friends with still?
I actually met my best friend working at Whiskey Row.
Okay.
I actually had just like got off, standing at the bar with my boyfriend at the time, and she was just standing next to me, and I was hammered. I just looked over and I said, hey bitch, do you want a shot? And she's like, yeah, sure.
That's legit what you said?
I
That was
legit
your first
said,
word?
hey bitch, do you want a shot? And she said, yeah. So I got a shot, and then she just would not stop following me around the bar. And I was like, I mean, you're cool. Like, sure. Woke up the next morning, and I was like, never going to hear from that girl ever again. Sure enough, she texted me, let's hang out again. And I was like, okay. And yeah, it's my best friend. I love her. Shout out Sierra.
Is she in the industry too, or just just goes out?
She just went out. Happened to be out that night. She actually was dating one of our security guards.
Okay.
At the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then she was just hanging out because of that, and then runs into you.
Yeah.
And then probably ends up blacking out with you.
Oh yeah. And now we have matching tattoos of Whiskey Row's coordinates on our arms.
Because that's where you guys met?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I was like, you know what? If we ever end up not being friends, I can just say it's Nashville.
Yeah.
Watch it turn into like an insane asylum in 20 years or something.
Of the story of you two? Or
no,
like
I'd
the
say
entire
like, what if like Whiskey Row closes down and it like turns into a insane asylum?
And that's what you have the coordinates of? They'll be like, isn't that a fucking insane asylum? Like, yeah, I was there 10 years ago, you know. It's where I used to be.
That'd be a great story.
It actually would be. Yeah, I mean, being in the industry, for me, like we were just kind of talking before the show, like just Sunday, there's celebrities that kind of walk through to bars all the time, artists that kind of pop into bars all the time, and just either are just there hanging out and drinking, or pop up on stage and all of a sudden they'll start performing out of nowhere. Athletes coming through all the time. Like we just had Megan Maroney there on Sunday, and you were like, I didn't even know she was there. One of my homegirls is like a really, really talented singer in Nashville. Text me and she's like, Megan Maroney is here. And I'm like, oh, sweet. And then
casual. Oh, yeah. Cool. That's cool.
And then like I could see people like starting to kind of like flock over to her and like try and take pictures and things like that. Where then I was like, all right, let me play like one of these songs. And like as soon as I played it, then like everyone started going crazy, and like all her friends at her table started singing it. But it's crazy to me that like at any time some of these like artists and celebrities can just kind of come through and hang out.
Especially I feel like they come out more on Sundays or like Monday, Tuesday, because it's not as crazy as like the weekends.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's when, if you ever want to run into a celebrity, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday is probably more likely when you're going to see them.
I feel like weekends too is when they'd be like on show or on tour or anything like that. So it's like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they might be on tour somewhere too. And then like Sunday they'd be coming back and they're like, all right, let me unwind and go hit some of these bars.
Let's go to Barstool.
Yeah, exactly. So you got any fun stories from like artists that you've ran into while working, celebrities that you've ran into while you're working?
I feel like I've seen and met so many over the years. I was working at Whiskey Row. It was when Dierks Bentley, I don't know what I guess he put on a show there, a private show, but it was for his Hot Country Nights band. Do you know what that is? Yeah. And I mean, every country singer was there. And I was like a foot from Carrie Underwood. And I was just like, oh my God, that's Carrie Underwood. But I was working, so I was like, I can't freak out. I can't
You can't fangirl.
I'm gonna get in trouble if I like fangirl right now.
Yeah.
But that was just like the moment I was like, holy shit, I'm in a room with Carrie Underwood and I'm nobody. And like all these influential country singers, and I'm just like, this is a moment I'm never gonna forget. Like people don't get to experience this every day of their lives.
Yeah, but it's wild because I feel like so often, like especially with Dierks, like there's been so many times where he'll just pop into his bar and just jump on stage and start singing, or it's like even other people,
or like Jason Aldean's sets, or I worked at Kid Rock's for a very short amount of time, and yeah, he would show up just randomly.
I've literally been to Kid Rock's like multiple times. I always bring my friends there when we come through. There's been 2 separate times where like right when I left, I'll look at like a story a half an hour later and Kid Rock will be
He's there.
And I'm like, God damn it. Like 2 separate times where I just must have missed it.
Yeah.
And then it was like one of the nights at Whiskey Row, same thing where I had like just left and then I see on their story that Dierks showed up and just like started playing. I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
There was one night, it was Kane Brown, Post Malone, and like some other singers were there or artists. And it was like a Friday or Saturday night. We closed. Well, they stayed after and they were there till like 6 a.m. just strumming on a guitar, like singing. And I was like, wow, this is what it's like to live in Nashville. It's still like my first year living here.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is
And that's
crazy.
like the image that you're getting.
Yeah.
Where you're like, this is what it's like every day.
When I think about looking back at Nashville, like if I ever move, I'm going to be like, yeah, those are one of those memories that crazy.
Like where else can you
Where
do
else
that?
would you experience that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
'cause
really?
There's always people coming in to do like writers rounds and everything, just work, collaborating with other artists. And it's just, there's always something.
Exactly.
And then you have athletes all over between the NFL team, the NHL team. Hopefully we're getting a baseball team here too. And then
that'd be exciting.
yeah, soccer team here too. So it's definitely something. Do you find that you're able to like network with people that you meet at the bar?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. They always ask me, like, is this all you do? Like, what else do you do outside of bartending? So I get to tell them about me going to school for nutrition and like what I want to do with that. And, I was able to get into Vanderbilt and work with their football team for a summer because I met someone who had connections with Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
So that was like beneficial with my career because I did want to work in sports for a while. But
do sports nutrition and like
yeah, that was my goal for a long time was to work with like the NFL or something, a sports team.
Like what would like the dream job be? Like
to be a sports dietitian for the NFL, work with all the athletes, doing their nutrition, traveling with them, making sure that like all their meals and stuff.
But like as a dietitian, do you have to make a different plan for every single player then, or how does that work?
Yeah, pretty much.
Holy shit.
Based on their position too.
Yeah. Is that something that you like learn while you're in school or learn while you were working with like Vandy or what?
Yeah, that's something I learned working with Vanderbilt. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But
I mean, I think just anything around the sports world and just like athletics in that field would be awesome. Just for myself, because obviously I'm big into sports. I know like from like an MMA standpoint, like UFC has a bunch of dietitians that work for them to help the fighters like cut weight, which I feel like probably in the same respect, like helps you for when you're preparing for these bodybuilding competitions and having to cut weight or get down in shape, like to just be as popping as you can be for these competitions.
Shredded. Yeah.
So then you can kind of build your own prep and meals and everything like that for yourself.
I have a coach that does all that for me.
So you don't even do it for yourself?
No, I don't trust myself. Like, I probably could, but it's hard, especially when you get really bad body dysmorphia, I'll admit. And like, especially with my last show that I did, like in the moment I was like, I'm not lean enough. Like I still like have these areas to tweak. And I didn't feel like you never felt like I was ready, I guess.
Really?
Yeah. But then I look back now at those pictures now that I'm, 20 pounds plus, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I was like this big,
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to judge yourself when you are that depleted.
Yeah.
So
like you think you'd be making yourself cut even more looking at those pictures, thinking that you're not shredded enough at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
What do you think
some people do coach themselves and I give them props, but I'm like, no, I need an outside perspective to look at me and make those modifications.
Yeah. What do you think that comes from? Do you like for you to not think, because when you're in these competition shape, like you're fucking in insane shape.
Yeah.
And to still think that you're not, it just seems like wild to me.
Yeah.
Do you think that just comes from like just you being that hard on yourself or like social media?
No, because I think every competitor is the same way.
Yeah.
It's just you have goggles on.
Yeah.
So like you just always want to be leaner, I guess.
I feel like I'm like so hard on myself and like in such a competitive nature, like I would feel like I would do the same thing. Where I'm like, damn, like I could put more muscle on. Oh, I could still cut another pound or something like that. But yeah, that's
I remember
crazy.
the day of my show, I was like texting my coach because my coach was unable to come because it was in Fort Lauderdale,
Florida. Yeah.
And I was like, I feel bloated right now. Like I'm so bloated. And he's like, all right, like send me a picture. So I took pictures and he's like, Shay, what are you talking about? Like, and I'm like, are you sure I'm not bloated? And he's like, yes, like you're good.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay.
Please just shut up. Stop texting me. Go do the show. You're fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the whole bodybuilding world and just kind of how you got into it. Is it something that you've always been into, or did you just kind of?
No. So I went to school originally for exercise science.
Okay.
So like working out has always been like part of my life.
Yeah.
But I remember being in college and a girl competing and I was like, I could never do that. But I was a really big partier too. So that was not something I was even interested in. I was like, no, I just want to go get drunk on the weekends with my friends. So 2021 got out of a really toxic relationship. And my best friend's boyfriend at the time, he competes and he was recently started training people too. And he came to me and he's like, you know what, Shay, I think you would be really good at this. I think it'd help you get your mind off of it, and like, if you want someone to coach you, like I'd be willing to do that. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to get that revenge bod type thing.
Yeah.
Not that I was ever like out of shape, but I wasn't like hitting the gym hard. It was more just like 3 or 4 times a week. I wasn't really like grinding in the gym. I wasn't, paying attention to eating enough protein. It was just like I ate whenever I was hungry type of thing. So yeah, that's literally how I started. And then it wasn't until I stepped on stage that I was like, I love this.
How was the first show experience? Like how nervous were you for that?
I was shaking.
How did you like get into it? Did you have to get like pushed to do the first show, or were you like, I want to do this?
It I feel like I was half and half.
Yeah.
Like I still wasn't fully invested in it because it was just, I don't know. It just wasn't, I wasn't sure if I really like wanted to do this or not. But at the same time, I was like, I need to get my mind off of things and like focus on, it gave me a distraction in the moment, like looking back at it. It wasn't until I stepped on stage that I was like, I love this. Like it was the most euphoric like experience just to be like, have your hair and makeup done and like show off all the progress that I made. And I was just like, I love this. As soon as I stepped off, I was like, I want to do this again.
How long do you usually prep for a show?
That one was 12 weeks.
Damn.
But each prep has been different. I've done 3 now.
Okay.
And each one has been very, very different.
Yeah. How does it work for like bodybuilding? Like what are you like an amateur status right now or how does it work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you don't become a pro. You have to place top 2 in an amateur show to compete at a nationals show.
Okay.
And I want to say top 2 at nationals too. Maybe, I think it depends on which show it is, but either the top 2 or just the top person. Once they place, then they can become a pro, IFBB pro.
Yeah.
And that's when
you have to place before you can even try and go pro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't just go pro.
No, I mean, I just didn't know like how it worked. Like if it's off like the amount of shows or if it's by like.
Nope. It's top
place.
2.
Yeah.
So.
Damn.
Yeah.
Is that a goal of yours?
Yes. But also right now I'm enjoying taking a step back from it. Especially the last prep I went through, it was I almost backed out like 2 weeks prior.
How come?
My coach.
Okay.
I just realized he wasn't able to really evaluate my lifestyle and work with my lifestyle of bartending.
Yeah.
Long hours on your feet. And we just had very different viewpoints on how we wanted to prep.
How do you balance? I mean, being in a nightlife industry, you're bartending. I look at just Sunday I was DJing, you were working. You were there when I got there. And then when I left, you were still there. And I remember coming up to you at the bar. I'm like, you're still here? Like, how long are you working? And you're like, oh, I'm working a double today. Like you were working a 12, 15-hour shift. And then for you to still be able to stay focused to go hit the gym the next day.
Yeah.
How are you able to do that? Because I feel like, I mean, like right now you haven't been drinking like at all lately.
I went to dinner last week with some friends, like had a glass of wine, but I'm not like going out and partying anymore. Yeah.
Which I feel like that helps a lot. Then you're not waking up hungover. Like
exactly.
I haven't drank since all my friends were in town.
When was that? Last week?
No, that was
I'm kidding.
But, and I've like gotten back in the gym the last 2 weeks where I've been like working out every single day. And I know that for me, like obviously that part, it makes it a lot easier because then you're not waking up hungover. You're already tired from working till 3 a.m. And then like trying to get back in the gym to work out at 10 a.m. or noon or whenever you have it scheduled to go to the gym. Like how do you balance that between that work and then the fitness life that you...
So I usually plan out my week on Sundays.
Okay.
Like that's because I usually don't work during the day on Sundays. I usually work nights, but I had like picked up a morning shift that day. So I usually already have when I work during the week and I just schedule like my gym sessions around that. I don't usually work out on days that I'm working.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like at all?
It depends. Like it really depends. I knew Sunday I was going to be working a double. So I was like, I'm not going to go to the gym. Like I'm all right. Well, I could have made time, but there was no need. I was already going to be on my feet for 12 hours. Like that's already enough stress on your body. So, But I'm also a morning person. So if I'm not working until 3 a.m., I'm up at 6 a.m. And I'm going to bed at 9 p.m.
That's literally how I am. Like people think it's so crazy because I fucking DJ every weekend.
Yeah.
But like last night I was in bed at like 8:30.
Yeah.
And I've been up since 6.
Exactly. I feel like I'm more productive when I wake up that early. And I'm able to like wake up, I make my breakfast, journal. Like I have a whole morning routine, and then I go and I hit the gym, and then I have like a whole day to do whatever I need to do.
Yeah.
So
Have you noticed like since starting in college and really getting into working out, and then now to where you are now, being very into it still, starting to do the journals that you post all the time, do you think that kind of stuff has helped you like mentally just be a little bit more stress-free and just...
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because like I'm able to plan everything out.
Yeah.
Like every day. I'm kind of weird. So every night before bed, I go onto my notes app and I plan out my entire day, like hour by hour.
Okay.
Because I'm so ADD and I'm such a procrastinator that if I don't, I'll lose like 5 hours. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, wait, what have I been doing the last 5 hours? And I'm like, oh, nothing. Because
you didn't have a schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
So I'm like 6 a.m. wake up, 6:30 breakfast. Like
I don't go that intense, but I have like a to-do list in my notes.
Yeah.
Where it's like when I think of shit, I add it to that. And then that way, like the next day I can go through and knock stuff off of it.
Yeah.
But then even still with that, since I don't break it down as thoroughly,
I'm
I
crazy,
still end up like procrastinating on shit, and then it doesn't get done. And
Yeah.
then I'm like, fuck, I was supposed to get that done.
Yeah.
And I go back to my list and I'm like, damn, I totally forgot I even put that on there. Now I got to get it done the next day. So I definitely need to get better at that for sure.
Yeah. And meal prepping helps too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you do that all? Like, do you try and do it on Sunday to get the week started? Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah. Well, I'm able to prep for like 4 days.
Okay.
So like Wednesday or Thursday, depending on like my schedule, is when I'll like meal prep again for the weekend.
Yeah. What's on the menu this week? It's Tuesday. What have you been eating?
I eat the same thing every day. I'm so boring.
Really?
Yeah.
What are you eating?
Ground turkey, and I like cook it in this teriyaki sauce.
Okay.
That's
Just give it a little bit more flavor than just regular ground turkey.
Yeah, who wants to eat just plain ground turkey?
Yeah.
And then Brussels sprouts, and I add like pico and rice, and that's like my everyday meal.
See, I always get like shit for it because when I have literally have no problem with eating like the same food every day. Mm-hmm. Like you can literally just give me a chicken salad and I
hate chicken. Ugh.
Really?
I feel like I hate cooking it.
Okay.
It's so gross. Like the veins.
That kind of stuff grosses you out?
Yeah, I can't.
But ground turkey is fine. You're just going to throw up right now?
It's so gross.
Is ground turkey just like the only thing then? Or what?
That's what I'm eating right now, yeah.
Yeah. What about
I'll still cook
steak and like burgers
steak,
and shit?
shrimp, burgers,
Okay.
salmon. Yeah, but like.
So literally everything else besides chicken?
Yeah.
Chicken's fucking delicious.
I mean, I'll eat it.
What about chicken wings?
I can't even tell you the last time I ate a chicken wing.
Oh my God. You're missing out
I would rather
on...
have a chicken tender.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll settle there then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chicken tenders are...
Like I'll eat chicken. I can't cook chicken
Okay.
and eat it.
Just because then when you cook
Just
it,
because
you
I
get
can
grossed
see. Yeah, it's just.
out? Yeah.
Ugh.
I want like when you were talking about your competitions, I told you just like briefly about it, but one of my buddies, Maddie's brother, Josh, their fantasy league is fucking brutal.
Okay.
So they do this shit every year where their punishment for the loser, they kind of gear it off of like that person's weakness.
Okay.
So let's say they have somebody that hates public speaking. He lost one year. They made him do stand-up comedy.
Oh, that sounds
just knowing that
terrible.
he'd be like terrified to get up on stage and do public speaking. One of their guys is like a little bit more chubby guy.
Okay.
and they made him enter a bodybuilding competition.
Oh my God. How did he do?
Not well.
He didn't place.
No.
Did he even try to
card.
prepare?
He did. I mean, not like, I don't think like workout wise tried to prepare. I don't even know if he did like, if he got like oiled up and like tanned and all that kind of shit. I think he literally just went there just like pale white.
Oh God.
And just like chubby dude and didn't do well.
Okay.
But
he still stepped on that stage.
yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Not placing though.
Yeah.
He will not be getting a pro card anytime soon. But I think that shit would be fucking hilarious. But also at the same time, like if you're in a competition like that and someone is up there like that, is that something that you would get like upset by or like?
No. So there actually is one lady at my very first show. It's in Chattanooga, and she's 70s, 80s old. And she apparently competes in this show every year. Don't think she's worked out in like 30 years. Does absolutely no prep or training. She gets her tan. She gets her makeup done. She puts on a suit. And there's only one category that she competes in, and it's the 70 plus.
Yeah.
And she's the only one to compete in it. So she always wins.
Yeah, she wins every year then.
She gets a big trophy, like...
That's smart.
And she does it every year.
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel like they're probably losing money because whatever she has to pay to enter it, I feel like the trophy would be more that she's getting every year.
I think it's like $125 to do it, but
how many years has she been doing this?
I have no idea. That was 3 years ago. That was the first time I saw her.
Her house is probably just getting full of trophies now.
Yeah. Just like she can brag to all her friends, I guess.
All the other people in the retirement home.
Exactly. Hey guys, look at all my bodybuilding trophies.
Yeah. So when you're behind the bar, this is one thing that I always wanted to kind of pick people's brains on.
Okay.
When you're behind the bar and you're working with other customers, how do you kind of ride the line between like flirting with a customer because then you know that he's going to tip versus like him starting to think that you're actually flirting with him because you like him?
Well, there's not many guys that I actually like.
So that's a good start. That makes it a little bit easier. Is that something you do? Are you like nice and like flirty with customers, or are you just like...
that's part of my job. Like, I always tell people, I'm like, I didn't get hired because of my great personality. I got hired because I'm pretty. Let's be honest. So...
But you are outgoing. Like every time I've ever...
I am. I joke about it. Yeah. But I mean, that's part of the job is to be friendly. Mm-hmm. But I think especially guys nowadays, they're unable to differentiate if someone's flirting or if someone's being just friendly doing their job.
I think girls are too. Not just guys. I think girls think that guys are like flirting with every girl when it's like, no, I'm just like literally saying hi. But
okay, maybe.
I digress.
But it's worse for females.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but I call everyone babe.
Okay.
It's just, I don't know, it's a habit.
Yeah.
I'm just like, hey babe, how are you? Like, can I get you to drink? So that can sometimes, they're like, ooh, she called me babe.
Yeah.
It's like, no, don't worry, you're not special. I guess sometimes when it's locals too, because locals will come out and they're like, oh, like I live here too. Like, where do you live? But yeah, 9 times out of 10, I'm just like, I'm not interested. I'm just being nice, doing my job. So, but when it comes down to them asking for my number, you never give out your number.
That's the secret?
That's the secret. You never give out your number. You always ask them to give them their number.
Okay.
So that way you're in control. You're not having someone texting you. You don't have to block anybody. You're just like, yeah, I'll text you when I get off work. Uh-huh.
And then you can just choose to never text them.
Exactly.
I feel like if you're the one giving out your number, then they're just going to blow you up.
Exactly.
And then that's where you're like, all right, cool. I got to block this guy. He's annoying the shit out of me.
Although I haven't been able to get out of like the social media.
Yeah, because then people are still able to like find you on Instagram and DM you. Yeah.
Or like when they ask me like, oh, what's your Instagram? I'm like, crap, I don't want to be like, I don't know how to say no to that.
Well, and even that way, if you flip that and you're like, oh, let me get yours, then they're still going to see you follow them.
True, but then they're like, oh, follow me, right?
Exactly,
And then if I don't do it in that moment, then it's like...
Then it's just awkward.
Yeah. So I'll give out my social media, and then I'll just let them talk to themselves in their DMs.
Yeah. You're like, all right, this guy's just having a conversation with himself.
9 times out of 10, it just gets them out of my face. I'm like, cool.
What's some of the best pickup lines that you've gotten?
Oh, God.
That good, huh?
There was one, and I still can't believe this man said this to me. He was standing next to his girlfriend when he said this too, which makes it even way worse.
Are they swingers? What the fuck?
Oh no, she was pissed. Which I don't blame her. Like I would be pissed too, but then again, I would never date someone who would say this to another woman.
Yeah.
This guy was being very flirty, telling me how beautiful I am, and he's just like, he looks me dead in the eyes and he says, "You're so pretty, I wouldn't even nut on your face." And I just stood there in shock. Like, no way this man just said that to me.
I want to know who that has ever actually worked for.
How many times does he use that line?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, is that a common line he uses?
And also, then what was his girlfriend's reaction?
She was just like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And I'm just standing there like, what?
What do? Did you just turn around and walk away at that point?
I did. I was just like, "Thank you." And I walked away and I immediately I immediately went up to all the other bartenders and I'm like, "Y'all, you'll never guess what this man just said to me."
Yeah.
And they were just like, "What?"
Like,
I mean,
I don't know.
Is that a compliment?
Yeah, literally, that's what I was just gonna say. Like, is that a compliment?
Is it? I still don't know.
Yeah.
That's the most memorable one.
That would have potentially worked? Or like any that made you laugh, you're like, oh, that was a good one. I haven't heard that one before.
Yeah. There was one guy that asked me if I wanted to go to the movies with him once. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, sure. Wink, wink. And he's like, "Sorry, snacks aren't allowed inside." I was like, it took me a minute, but I was like, wait, what? Oh, like you can't bring outside snacks inside. Yeah.
You're like, oh, he's calling me a snack. I got it.
Yeah. And my response to him eventually was like, once I got the joke, I was like, I'm not a snack. I'm a 4-course meal, babe.
Nice.
But yeah, other than that.
But how long did it take you to actually figure that out and come back and say it?
Well, once I figured out what the joke meant when he
was I'm saying. How long?
Like 20 seconds. It wasn't that long, okay?
I'm like, you came back so late that the joke was already over.
He's like, whatever.
What the fuck are you talking about?
This girl sucks.
He just has no idea what you're talking about at all. Yeah. No, there's some wild ones that I've heard and seen. But yeah, I mean, definitely
that one
like
takes the cake for sure.
Yeah, that's one of the craziest ones I've ever heard.
So I need your followers to decide if that's like a compliment.
Yeah,
or not.
is this a compliment or not? We're gonna be able to figure this out. Like, if you were a girl, how would you take that?
How would you respond to that?
Would you say thank you, or would you be like, what the fuck?
Security.
Yeah. How do you end up looking at that and figure out what the fuck to do with that?
Needless to say, his girlfriend made sure he did not come back to the bar.
I don't know if they're probably boyfriend and girlfriend anymore after that.
Maybe.
That's a tough one to recover from.
Yeah.
We had Zach on here last week. He was talking about some alcoholic beverages that he drank a little while back and blacked out and didn't remember going to EDC.
Four Loko.
Yeah, Four Loko. This terrific beverage that took the world by storm years ago.
Their old recipe.
Yeah. Yeah, the old recipe.
Pretty sure it had like legit meth in it.
It had something in it where it was like, you drink one of those and you were just flying.
Oh, well, I died.
Or
I died.
the opposite of flying, you're on your face.
Yeah.
But yeah, you told me that you have a little Four Loko story.
I do.
Yeah.
I have a beautiful mugshot to show you also. Yep. But in college, back in Georgia, summertime, went to a club with a friend who, I guess you could say we look like, my height, blonde hair. So everybody just assumes, same person, right? I don't remember exactly what happened outside of the club before we went in, but an altercation occurred with her and a police officer. But something happened. We went inside. My backup. Sorry, I was drinking Four Lokos before we got to the club. Okay. I drank an entire one at like 105 pounds. So I was already I shouldn't have even gone to the club at that point. But, I was 21. I was of age, thank God. Anyway, get inside the club, lose track, lost everyone. And I was like, all right, I'm leaving. I go to walk out of the bar and the bartender was like, hey, Shay, you're not allowed to bring your drink outside. And like very strict, and it's a very small town. So like it's not open container or anything. And he said, I don't even remember doing this, but he said, I flipped my hair back and said, don't worry, sweetheart, I know people. Walk out of the bar with my drink. And immediately that same cop who was like, got into it with my friend saw me and thought I was her. And I don't remember what was said. I just remember he said something about my drink and I just dropped it and I took off running. Clearly I didn't get very far because I tripped and I fell and I got arrested.
You tripped and fell?
Oh yeah. Like scraped my knee. Like, yeah.
And then get arrested and wake up. Like, were you just coherent after that? Was that something that kind of like woke you up out of the drunkenness?
No, I woke up at 1 p.m. in my house that I was living at the time. And
Okay.
I was like,
so you didn't get like locked up in jail or anything. You just got arrested.
I was, okay. So I was in a holding cell
Yeah.
for 4 hours. And I guess my bondsman gave me a ride home.
What the fuck?
Yeah. I don't remember. But I just woke up the next morning and there's a piece of paper and it has like my mugshot on it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I was like, where's my stuff? And I went back to the police department because I thought they still had my stuff. And they remembered me. And I was like, do y'all have my purse? And they're like, no, we gave it back to you. Like, I eventually found it. But I was like, how did I get home? And they're like, your bondsman came and gave you a ride home.
How the fuck do you even get a bondsman? I don't even know. Like,
I don't know. I don't remember.
I literally don't even know how that works.
I don't know either. But I was like, the fact that I don't remember leaving here and getting home, y'all should not have let me go.
Yeah.
Like, y'all should have kept me here.
Yeah.
But apparently I called my mom that night, tell her to come pick me up from jail. Granted, she only lived an hour away, but she did not.
She wasn't thrilled?
No.
Yeah.
No.
How much did all of it run you?
I was like $400.
Oh, that's it?
They didn't take my fingerprints. I think I told them I was like in nursing school or something at the time. And I was like, you're going to ruin my life. I don't know if that actually worked. But no, I just paid a $400 open container fine and sat in a holding cell and have a beautiful mugshot.
Yeah. The mugshot is, it's glorious.
It is.
We'll have to put it up on a clip here.
When I turn 30 this year, I want people to like have it on a t-shirt.
Shirt? Yeah.
Yeah.
Get the whole Zach Bryan thing going on.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah. Same kind of concept. But,
okay.
But it'll be you on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll do it for a birthday party. Just get the whole staff to wear it.
Kind of like Iga. On her birthday, they had t-shirts for all the staff.
Oh, yeah. But
Yeah.
what was her like picture of?
Oh, it was just a pretty picture of her. Yeah.
She'll get that. You'll get a mugshot. Just polar opposites. That'll be great.
So like not that interesting of a story, but like the mugshot speaks for itself. Like it should be sponsored for another like company. Like don't drink Four Loko.
Yeah. I was literally going to say as like an ad to not drink Four Loko.
Yeah.
It's a perfect reason why not to. You're like, I had one of those. Look what happened to me.
Yep.
Imagine if you drink two.
Imagine if you drank two.
I'm surprised that like bars don't sell it or anything anymore. But I feel like if they just did like a Four Loko weekend, you know, just put it out at some of the bars.
I'm not working that weekend.
Shit would go a little crazy.
Nope.
But as far as like bartending, I mean, you just bartend right now, right? You don't do like bottle serving or anything?
No.
Do you want to ever do like bottle service, or you just strictly?
So that's how I started out at Whiskey Row. Was I served and did bottle service.
Okay.
No, I would never do it again.
Really?
Yeah, I give credit to the women that can do it, but from my experience, when you are dressed very provocatively,
Yeah.
guys tend to think that like you are their property for the night and that they can do whatever they want. Very handsy. And it just, I can only take so much before I just want to like smack them. And you can't do that. So whereas when you have a bar,
You should be able to.
well, I mean, I did have a guy reach over the bar and grab my ass a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
That bar is big as fuck. How the fuck you reach over
I was on
it?
the sidebar in the VIP area.
Okay.
And turned around and a guy reached over and just grabbed my ass.
How quick was he thrown out?
Well, at first I was like, did that just happen? And I'm like looking around and I'm like, who did that?
Yeah.
And he was the only one that was by himself. And I was just like, I looked at him and I go, did you just grab my ass? And he's like, what? I was like, oh, fuck you.
I'm trying to play all dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was escorted out very quickly after that.
Well, that's good at least.
But so I guess you still can get grabbed behind the bar.
What about like the difference in money between bartending and bottle serving? Were you making more bottle serving or you make more bartending?
I'd say roughly the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. You all share the tables. So like by the time you get all your tips and then you have to tip out your bar back and then tip out the bartenders because they're like still, you know,
Making drinks for the table. Yeah.
They make shots for your tables and stuff. And I feel like it kind of evens out.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that was, 6 years ago when I did that. So it might be different now. They might be making way more money than us.
Yeah. I just feel like if you're like serving and doing bottle service too, like if you're serving a Saturday day shift too, and then let's say you do like bottle service at night too, like the shit during the day here at some of these bars, like you could be
you can make just as much money as working at night.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially if you get like any of these days where it's like a college game day or any of these, like I look at this next week, like the SEC tournament being at Bridgestone, where it's just going to be busy as fuck all weekend long.
Yep.
And then you go straight from there into March Madness, where it's like, I feel like the next 3 weeks are just going to be.
Yeah. I like working days more now. The older I get, the more I'm like, I would rather work a day shift.
Yeah.
Because people aren't as hammered yet.
Yeah.
For the most part. Not always. But yeah.
There's still a few.
And they're kind of better tippers too. So.
All right. Well, we got to ask you some rapid fire questions here that I got for you.
All right.
First one being one that I just asked Zach this the other day. If there was one bar on Broadway that you could get rid of, what would it be?
People are going to hate me for this. Tin Roof.
Really? Just keep the one on DeMumbrin? That's it?
Get rid of both of them.
What? Why?
Whenever I meet someone and their go-to hangout spot is Tin Roof, I'm just like...
It's just an automatic red flag?
Yeah.
So you're not even saying it because you don't like the bar, but it's just like... Just like if you hang out there that much, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Gotcha. What's a bar
I might get canceled for that.
What's a bar that's not on Broadway that you would put onto Broadway?
Mothers.
Zach said the same thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like Mothers would be dangerous.
He was literally like, I would put Mothers, but he's like, I feel like it would ruin Mothers. Like it wouldn't be the same.
Yeah, because it would get ruined by tourists.
Yeah.
I live across the street from Mothers. So if I go out, like that's where I go.
Yeah, that and your little coffee smoothie shop thing.
Yeah. Germantown's great. It's a perfect area.
It is. I love
Can't
Germantown.
prove me wrong.
It's a good spot. Obviously, me as a DJ,
Okay.
if there was a song that you could have played every night aside from anything Rufus Du Sol, what song are you picking that you want to hear every single shift?
I guess Where You Are by John Summit.
Okay.
Like that.
Yeah. How are you liking his new one?
song.
Are you liking Shivers?
I was listening to that on the car right over here.
He's been killing it, and he literally has Hayla in every single song of his.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
That just chef's kiss.
it's literally like a little
you
dynamic
can't
duo.
hear that song and not like smile.
Yeah. It's a perfect, like, he dropped it right at the right time, going into like spring, summer.
Like when I look back at the year 2023, I'm like, that's the song I think of.
Yeah. And now
Yeah.
it's going to be played all summer long at every fucking festival and have remixes made
can't
of
wait.
it. Yeah.
I'm ready for festival season again.
Yeah. Are
Yeah.
you a festival goer?
Oh yeah.
What do you have planned this?
Right now I haven't been to what's the one in Alabama? Hangout.
Hangout? Yeah.
Hangout. Odeza's gonna be there. Alice in Wonderland.
That's like soon, isn't it?
May.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
So I'm really excited for that one. I haven't really decided on others. Those are
What's one that you'd want to go to that you haven't been to?
Electric Forest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't
That's
think
a-
I'll be able to do that one this year, but
That's up in the Midwest.
eventually, yeah.
Yeah. What is one genre of music that you would get rid of completely?
Oh, I'm gonna agree with Zach on this one and like old country.
Just old country?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just can't.
Who's like an artist that you never want to hear at the bar anymore?
Like a wagon wheel.
Darius Rucker?
Yeah.
Why do all you guys hate that song?
Because we hear it all the time.
That's literally what Caroline said. She's like, if I fucking could never hear that song again,
Yeah.
it'd be great.
Yeah. Like every time it plays, I'm like, can we like cancel this song?
Yeah.
I never want to hear it ever again.
That's so funny that you guys all hate the same song from hearing it that much, where it just has become that big of an annoyance to you.
So surprisingly, before I moved here, country music was pretty much all I listened to.
Okay.
But then I started working on Broadway and I heard the same songs over and over and over. And I haven't listened to country like on my own
Yeah.
in 6 years.
And it just drove you into listening
Into
to other
like
music.
the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Now I listen to robot music 24/7.
Do you wish that there was more like EDM acts that would come through to Nashville?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I try to go to every single one.
That's what I always talk about, where I'm like, I don't know how there's not more.
There's a good amount though. I
What-
mean, Subtronics is going to be here next week. And then Shaq's going to be here.
Diesel?
DJ Diesel.
Where's he going to be?
He's going to be at Skydeck.
Oh, damn. That's
Yeah.
dope. Shaq's awesome.
Yeah. I saw him at Bonnaroo last year.
Yeah.
That was, yeah.
See, you went like hard now, where you went from country to now you like festival trap and like dubstep and grime and shit.
Yeah.
But then you also like house and
I love all
tech
of
house
it.
and that kind of EDM too.
I'm definitely more of a house girly,
Okay.
for sure.
Yeah. I mean, Subtronics is.
And like sad boy shit, like
Okay.
Millennium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flume Millennium.
Oh, I love Flume.
Yeah. Anything else that you got that you want to promote? You want to get out there to listeners, viewers?
Come see me at Barstool. I promise I'm really nice.
She actually is. This is true. I can confirm. She is not a mean person. So, but yeah, it's always a good time there. I mean, you're there every weekend.
Yeah.
People coming through all the time. This is going to go out next week, so I guess I don't know who's going to be coming in next weekend. But definitely come see you here at Barstool. Follow her on social media. Get into a conversation with yourself in her DMs if you want to. I'll put all her socials and everything up there. If you guys got any questions for Shay, let her know. If you have any questions for me, guests that you want to see on upcoming shows, leave them in the comments. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button on that YouTube channel. Follow on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Follow me at DJ Dex MKE. And until next week, we're out of here. Thank you. Check. Mic check. 1, 2.
Yo, is this thing on or what?